So the session is live. You can start now.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the day 3 of Bootcamp. Let's start with the Python programming. Today, we are at the end. We're going to learn about the mini project. Let's start. So yesterday we left out, we started discussion on the various concepts. Day before yesterday, we started understanding what is Python. Then I will share my screen. Okay, so we discuss about the what is Python, then what is Python is popular, we install it, then discuss about the different syntax and indentations, then discuss about what is variable, which can store something which changes its value. Then we discuss about the control structure, if, for, and while. Whenever there is a conditions, we check and based on we take a decision with the help of each statement. For and while we use something we want to repeatedly do it. So which helps to repeat the same stuff again and again. We use a control structure, right? So I'm just revising, discussing what we have discussed till that everyone can join so that they cannot left out with any topics. Okay. So then we discussed yesterday with the core Python concept like functions. So we discussed what is the functions importance, which helps to reuse the code again and again. And we have how we can call the function. We define the function, we call the functions. Without calling, function will not be executed automatically. Function needs to call. In the function, we can give some parameters, arguments to the functions. It processes it and then it returns the values or whatever the processing we ask to the function, it performs those tasks, right? Then we discuss different data structure. We discuss what is a list, tuple, dictionary, sets. List we discuss about what is a list. List is a mutable. It is mutable means we can change it. Lists are indexed. It starts from 0 to n. So lists are mutable. It is ordered. That's what is called as the indexing. And then we discuss about the tuples. Tuples are immutable. We can, it is indexed, but it's immutable. Once tuples are created, we cannot change those values of tuples. Then we discuss about the dictionaries. In dictionaries, we are going to, we discuss about the, then we discuss about the sets. Sets are not index. Sets are not index. In sets, we cannot have duplicate values. In a list, tuples, we can have as it is ordered. Sets are not ordered. It is not indexed. So it is. And then we discuss dictionaries. In dictionaries, it is indexed and it will have a unique key values are there. And we cannot repeat the key in that, right? Key should be unique. It's an index and that. So this is how we discuss different type of data structures. So we started with the what is Python to installation to variables to the loops, to the functions, and discuss with the data structures. Through the loops, we perform some operations on the data structures. And now it's time to learn about the errors, how we can handle the errors. Let me open my presentation. Okay. So when we say exception handling, very important concepts. When we say exception handling, what exceptions can come? So before we begin, I like to discuss about what are different errors come. Exception handling is used for handling the errors when the program is running, executing, right? Or whenever we are compiling the program. So exception handling is very important. It becomes de facto standard, or you can say it become a standard. When I'm talking about a standard of writing the codes, it is required we need to automatically, or rather we need to handle the code whenever there comes an error. Let me talk about what different types of errors are there. So there are three types of error. The one error I'm talking about is a compile time error. Another is a logical error. And third is a runtime error. These are the three types of errors are there. In that three types of errors, the first compile time errors are solvable. Logical error are solvable. But runtime error we cannot solve. We have to handle them. What are the solutions? I'm discussing the solutions of all the types of errors. The first error I'm talking about is a compile time error. Another is a logical error. And third one is a runtime error. So logical compile time error can be solved. The solution for this is very simple. We need to go through the documentation. We need through the go to documentation. So you have to go to the standard documentation of Python programming. Let me show you. If you go and visit Python and search the Python documentation, as soon as you search Python documentation, you will be reaching to the page logdocs.python. So this is the docs.python, which is nothing but an standard documentation of Python programming. It talks about what is Python, how we can install, what are also tutorials provided here, distribution of Python modules are there, how extending and embedding C++ programmers are there. So various everything is provided. And this is standard documentation. If you want to search something, you can easily search by writing here. For example, if I search try, I get the options of that. So it's provide me the different how the try is there, what is commands for that, what FAQs are there, everything related to that. If I search tuple, I get information related to tuple. So this is a tuple. If I just click on it, right? So if I click on tuple, it provides a class tuple. It is iterable. Tuples construct a number of ways. So it is provided. What we have discussed, it is same thing is discussed here, but it is the documentation. It's a standard documentation. Instead of relying on any books or any online forums, this is standard documentation is created by the open source community. You can say the people contributes to the open source, right? Coming back to this, so compile time error can be solved with the help of documentation or by learning the syntaxes. Compile time error usually comes by writing the wrong syntax. Syntax means if you write a space, what is spelling error, these all error comes under compile time error. If you write instead of one parameter in a function, you are providing two parameter. If the function accept integer type of value and you are providing a float, or if it is accepting integer, you are providing a float or a string, it's a mismatch is there. These all are known as compile time error. It happens before your program is executed. It happens before your program is executed. If you're not writing a proper syntax of the program, we call it as a compile time error. We call it as a compile time error. Right. Let's look at the logical error. Logical errors. Logical errors are errors which are also solvable with the help of practice. More the practice, more we will be reducing number of logical error. For example, you want to print the number of numbers from 0 to 10. We want to print the number of 0 to 10. Okay. So I am going to increment, suppose it I plus plus. I am increment a number which goes from 0 to 10 by I. If this is I equals to 0 to 10. Now I am incrementing it. But while I am comparing if I is greater than 10. It is not a compile time error. This is a logical error. I want to print till 10. So I should be writing it I less than equals to 10. After that, it will not execute. So as soon as I write I is greater than 10, it's logically wrong. Syntactically, it is correct. Less than greater than is considered an operator which is correctly written if it is will not give a compile time error. It will be treated as a logical error. Right. So these two errors are very much solvable. Compile time error, logical error. And the third one is a runtime error. So when I'm saying about runtime error, it is means your syntax is correct, your logic is correct, but when you are executing the program, suddenly out of the blue, some situation comes, that situation is creating program to crash or program to stop executing. That is nothing but a runtime error. That is nothing but an runtime error. So how we can solve this runtime error? We cannot solve by practice or writing logic, but we can solve by handling it. So we have to handle this runtime error with the help of exception handling. And that is the discussion of right now. Right. So exception handling is useful for handling the runtime error. What is the runtime error? For example, you are performing the division of, suppose this is a variable A divided by B, and I'm storing in a C, right? If I take any value of A is fine, any value of B is fine. The program will execute many a times without any error, without any problem. But if I'm giving a value of B as soon as 0, right? Divide by 0 is nothing but an infinity. It's not indetermined. Or if I give value of A and B both 0. So in both these cases, this program is stop executing. It will give an error because divide by 0 error is going to come. So compile time error is solvable, logical error is solvable, runtime error needs to handle. This is situation comes out of when you are executing many a times and such situation comes where the second value is given as 0, it will create an error, and that such error needs to handle. Another very practical example I will give. Suddenly there is video streaming stops. Okay. But your YouTube page still running. So it was handled correctly. Then there is a database. You are trying to retrieve something from your database and database connection. It is not connecting your database. So that is again a one error. Practically we use when you are connecting a database, we always use exception handling. Whenever, so let's see what different things are there. So Python provides two very important features to handle any unexpected error in your Python programs, to add debugging capabilities in them. Exception handling, this would be covered in this tutorial. I'm going to discuss about it. Assertions are there. Let's understand. Exceptions. So list of standard exceptions. There are various exception. Base class for all exception. Stop iteration. System exit. Suddenly your system got exit. Some standard error is coming. Arithmetic error. You are performing. Then you are adding 4-digit number. 1, 2, 3, 4. Another 4-digit number. And addition, usually it should come to the 4-digit. But suddenly we realize that bus 2 numbers are 9. It will create a 5-digit number. And if you didn't worked out properly, then this will be a arithmetic error from 4-digit to 5-digit. Similarly, I talked about digit. In a computer, we usually works with the bits. We call as 8-bit system, 16-bit system, 32-bit system, and what we currently are using is 64-bit systems. In the 64-bit system, your output is coming 65 bits, then this 0 bits needs to be handled. If you don't handle, you will get arithmetic error. You get arithmetic error. Actually, at ground, we can say this error usually is called as a carry. Okay, we get the extra. So overflow error is there when something is over limited, floating point error calculation, zero division error, which I discussed initially, assertion, attribute, end of the file error, import, you're trying to import some files and the file doesn't comes. So that error is there, keyboard interrupt, some keys you press, lookup table, index error, if index is not found. So there are many errors are there, which all these errors are defined in your computer system. Right. So this indentation error, which we discuss many a times, system exit, type of error, value error, runtime error, and not implemented. You are trying, you are not implemented and trying to call that function or class. So what we do is we usually perform the exception handling whenever we want to try something where possibility of error is going to come. So what we do is in situations, we use a exception handling, right? So an event, an exception is an event which occurs during the execution of program that disrupt the normal flow of the program. The program should flow like this and suddenly some error comes. We need to handle that situation. Else it will crash whole program. Whatever output you had that particular point is will be lost. So what we need to do is we have to handle that error with the help of exception handling. I'm repeating once again. So exception is an Python object that represents an error, right? Handling an exception. Exception handling is done with the help of try, except, and finally. With the help of this try, except, and finally, we can handle any exception handling related errors or any errors which will occur, which we are not sure of how it is going to work. So try. The try block lets you to test a block of code for errors. So first it will try whether this is possible. For example, I am trying to divide A by B under the try block. If any value of B is come 0, the try will know, okay, this is something is coming. In that case, it will call the except block and lets you handle the error. So situation it will, so with the help of exception handling, our program will not affect it. It will go to next block. It will try. If it works, that's fine. It will go to next block. Finally, blocks lets you to execute code regardless of the result of try and except. It will allow you to execute irrespective of anything. Let's see. This is how it works. In a try block, we write our run this code. Run this code we are if the exception occurs. Run this code else. Run this code if exception occurs. So if something doesn't work, we should be ready with some situation. Understand the analogy. You are attempting something. If doesn't work, we check with the other options. This is the X else provide you second options. Okay. Anyone having doubts till now? Should I consider? If you understood, okay, share your thumb in the chat box. Okay, good. I can see some thumbs. Okay, I will give a simple words. Someone is requested to do that. Okay. So what we do whenever the exception handling is there will three blocks as if, except, and we are trying to handle the errors. How we handle watch and block. I told you about divide by 0 is the one error which comes, right? Let me take it more ahead. Certificate, you have to fill the attendance. You get a certificate. One sample was already shared in the book on chat box. Okay, let me come to the entry. See, I will take you to the direct coding part of it. So you will understand better. Now we are learning exception handling. So what we do is, does we have created v variable? We have not created any v variable. As we didn't created a v variable, what we are trying to do? We are trying to print it without the variable, right? As there is no variable, we are printing except. Okay. Try, catch or try, except. If try colon, then print v, except print an exception occurred. If I click, I will get an exception occur. We wait for the connecting, it will connect. Okay, see, we can see. Now I will add one more code which you can understand. Try, suppose I'm writing v is equals to 100, sorry, or select let's 100, and try colon, I have to write a print. In that PDF I print, and then I write except. Okay, and I can write print, and I can write exception. I can write anything, right? And if I execute, so my output will be printing 10 because it tried it. Now, as soon as I will try again some operations. Okay, I'm giving a v is equals to 100 and v1 equals to 10. Now I will try v by v1. I get 10 because it is working. As if I try now, I will change the value of v1 to 0. It is returning me as an exception because this is nothing but an error. This is nothing but an error. Okay, what I will do is I will take first value as a 0 and second value as a 0. Now again exception, but 0 by 0 is also not determined, right? Now very slowly I will take it to another program. Now everyone can tell me what is output for this program. Please tell me in the chat box. Everyone in the chat box, tell me what is the output. It will print accept name error or it will print accept. Which one? Variable v is not defined. Yes, correct. Yes, everyone, please post in the chat box. Yes, correct. Variable is not defined. Correct. Or for few of you answered it very correctly. Okay, now come to the next. So I'm going to execute it. You will understand. So see, yes, variable v0 variable is not defined. It is printed because it is trying to because v was declare here. V was declare here. That's why. Okay. So it is continuation. Now Now instead of v, I will change to v2. Now it will give the v2 is not v. Okay, because v was earlier also the variable. It was taken from that and it was printed. Okay. Now let's try the another example. This one example. Try, and we're trying to print the some uh, string. There is a Krishna. Except something went wrong, else nothing went wrong. So what will be the output? Similarly, direct it's a string, so we don't have to worry. It will be nothing went wrong. Right. Now we discuss about the in the first one we discuss try and except. We discuss the how divide by error is there, and then we discuss about the second is exception. Then second we created trying to print the variables which is not available. And we printed the we tried with a try except double except. Okay. And then we discuss the try, except, and else also. Try, except, and the else also, like we have did it, right? Then let's understand another program which will be helping you to understand. Let's see. So try print v. Okay, we'll try to print v. Again, I will change this to 3. Here I'm trying the try, except, and finally. Try, except is finally. I'm trying. Okay, I will try. What is output? Something went wrong. This is the try, except is finished. So this is block is actually finished. If you want, we can write something here and we can do it. Print anything. We can perform any operations here. So that is the finally which allows you to print something. Not only that, we can actually create the raise an exception. Here we will perform try a is equals to 3, and if a is less than 4, means means 3 is less than 4, b is equals to a by a minus 3. What is the value of a is 3. 3 minus 3 is 0. It is trying it in the try block. Print value of b equals to b. It is not working because it tried. It doesn't work. It goes to the except. Zero division error, name error, and we print the error occurred and it is handled also. So this will give an error. Now if I change the value of 3 to 4, what will the output? Can anyone tell me? Yes, everyone. Yes, what will output? If you write error. Okay, if I write 4, let's see what error is coming. For 4, can't divide by 0 because a is 4. 4 divided by 4 minus 3, that is the 1. So it will be executed. The second program. Let's try. K is equals to 5 and this is 0 by error. Okay. So print K. This is always executed because finally is going to be executed without any problem. Okay, because that is going to be work. Right. So this is how we work with the try catch and all. Very important whenever we are working with the exception handler, rather whenever we are working with the any type of code, we usually use the exception handling. So very essential to work with the exception handling. Okay. So anyone having doubts, please ask in the chat box. Okay. Everyone. Okay. Where, in which code? It's not 12th program, it's a line number. Okay, I will copy this code and specifically I will take separately here. Okay, we'll modify the code from A to 5 and then A is 5. Is it true? Again, the reason because here A was 4. Does 4 is less than 4? It's not. That's why it does not working. Check this condition. I have given a 4. It's a 4 is less than 4. No, it's not. Then it will not enter the if block. It will come down to next one. It will come to the. Okay. Now, I will, instead of 5, I will make it 2. See, I'm getting answer minus 2.0. Understand? You need to check everything which is given a try. It will check the it's whether it's a logical error or something like that, right? Any doubts? Any other doubt? Okay. The next point of discussion is to PGM with a 2 except. Okay, fine. I will just move ahead to the next topic of discussion. Next topic of discussion is on, yes, this is the case study. I'm going to work with the housing price. Before we move ahead, I will use this particular collab itself. So next our point of discussion is a matplotlib. So what is a matplotlib? Matplotlib is one of the visualization tool which we use. It's a matplotlib is one of the important tool which we use for visualization. Any graph you want to plot on the graph, this particular node, we need to use matplotlib. Okay. So I am going to import. Okay. So there was one question how to install. Okay, in the syllabus. So I'm coming to the our CMD command prompt. On command prompt, we'll understand how we can actually install the packages. I'm just writing Python. So I have a Python installed on my machine 3.13. I'm exiting it. Okay, if I can write, I'm installing a pip install numpy. As soon as I click enter button, it will start downloading the packages of numpy. You can see at what speed it is downloading and everything. It is a collecting the packages of numpy. Now it is installing the packages. But yes, remember, I said I'm going to explain you matplotlib, and sir, you are installing numpy. The matplotlib is created on numpy. Okay. So if you want to use a matplotlib, there should be the numpy in your system. If you want, you require to you if you want to use a matplotlib, you require to have a numpy in your system, because on numpy itself we have created matplotlib. So we cannot use matplotlib without numpy installation in your system. So we need to install the first of all numpy in your system. So I am going to now install the pip command, then install matplotlib. Sir, we are not aware what is the package name. Sometimes you can easily go to documentation and it will tell you what will be the package name which you are looking for. So it's not necessary everyone know what packages are there, what needs to be installation needs to be done. We need to sometimes search on internet for this particular task, for this of what kind of libraries are available and what kind of functions are available, which in that particular library. So after only understanding from the search or through documentation, we can actually install those libraries and packages. Okay, in my machine it is installed. So if you want to check does it install or not, you need to click on Python. You enter to the Python terminal. You can check import numpy as np. If this is a coming and so it means the prompt, if the prompt comes back, it means a numpy is installed on my machine very much successfully. import matplotlib as empty. If this is coming for matplotlib without any problem, it means it is installed on matplotlib installed on my machine. Even I can print matplotlib dot underscore var sn version underscore bracket. It will, sorry, matplotlib matplotlib. Okay, I don't know, something went wrong. Okay. Coming to our own understanding of that, let's understand how we can use the matplotlib, how we can create a various graph. Let's me do the coding with you. Import numpy as np and then import matplotlib as plt. You just type automatically it give the matplotlib dot pyplot as plt. It means it helps us to understand whether our codes are executing, whether libraries are available. You get a tick, it means our libraries are now imported. I am on Google Colab. I am not using my Dex machines. Okay. So now I can create easily. If you want to draw the graph, or if you want to plot a simple line, okay, like I will share you the graph. Suppose if I want to plot simple one x-axis, one y-axis and another x-axis. Okay, I need to provide a points, and if I want to draw a certain line, I need to provide the those coordinates. Those coordinate needs to be provided. So how I'm going to do it? I already imported two things, numpys and a matplotlib. I am writing x point equals to and so x points as 6 comma 0 comma 6 and 0 comma 250 and plt dot plot x points, and then I can write x plots and it will plot a graph on my Colab. This is a graph. Okay. Now what I can do, I can, if I don't want from, this is 0 0, so it is starting from this 0 0 origin and it goes to the 6 on the x-axis and 250 on the y-axis of it, right? Now I can change these points, say 3 2, right? If I execute, I can see the x points and y points are provided and we are able to draw this. If I provide you extra point, what happens? Let's see. See, so it is not for a straight line. This is going to prod the all the points which are provided in square bracket. What is square bracket? Square bracket is the least. And now I using a numpy, I have created an array of that. These two arrays are there for x coordinates and then y coordinates into another array. And I am able to plot a graph. I can goes on changing it. Suppose instead of 7, then I'm taking it 9. And then here I will be taking instead of 255, I have to take 260. You can check a graph, it is provided. So there is slight change of it, it will not much of that. Instead of that, if I take a 10, you can see the change. Okay. Now it is 260 is quite near, it is not affecting much of it. Here, if I take, say, 160, now you can see there's a lot of change in it, right? So this is how we can work with the matplotlib and we can draw the plotting. Okay, now we have plotted and then Now, if you want to plot a graph, we already done. Now, if you want, these X points are provided, we are able to plot it. If you don't provide the Y points, what happens? Let's see. Still, we are able to get a graph because it's starting with the 0. The only thing is that, right? What if we provide X and not Y? Okay. So it is starting from the 0 itself and trying to manage that. So that is the beauty of it. It automatically understands. Of course, these points are needs to be not there. Then you can change the graph is will be changed. A little bit change will be there. Okay. Let me modify the code and let me show you. Can we change matplot? We can add some markers to it. So what you need to do is when you are writing a X, so I'm just remove this particular point. X points or Y points, if I say like Y points, if I'm keeping, okay. And then if I want a plot is Y points, and then I want to show some marker here. So I'm writing marker equals to, in a single code, I'm writing O, and I can actually mark there. I can see, can you see this wasn't there in the previous case? As soon as I added a marker to it, I am able to show some marker here, right? There are some logics are there, different markers which we can use. For circle, we are using O. And if you use the different star, I can use the star also. Let's see what happens if I use a star, say star. You can say a small star is shown here. Okay. Instead of star, I can use the some D, some symbol. You can see for D is used for diamond type of shape is been shown. If I use this diamond, then I am able to show the marker in a terms of diamond, right? We can actually show the different colors also if you want, right? So various colors are possible, right? I can say now ms equals to, I can increase the size of it. Marker size can be increased. Sorry, I require to have a comma here. Sorry. So I can change the size of marker also, right? Not only that, marker color can be done. That is the MEC equals to, in a single quote, I'm writing R. If I write R, I get a marker in a red boundary of that color. You can see it's the edge of this marker is shown in a red color, right? Is it clear? Okay. We can plot sine and cos also. We instead of these points which are created, we can give input sign also. We will create the NP array because and that array will store sine and cos, and then we can give input that NP array to the PLT plot function, PLT dot plot function, and then we can do that. Any other questions? Yes, any other questions? I can see chat box. Yes, everyone. We can also have a multiple graphs in a time. We can call it. We can do the. For example, split it. Right. We can split it also. Right. I will just copy this content and to show you the another code. In the code, only once I will be taking. I have already imported two libraries. I am creating NP array X, NP array Y is created. I'm just using this on this many only, and I can increase some numbers also 10, then 11, then 13, and then some 170, and then 29 to 22, and then 111. So I think this is sufficient enough, right? So this is the norm. I have used a plot function. Okay, this is an NP array created. And instead of plot, if I use a scatter, right? And sorry, I just executed previous code. Okay, I'm supposed to execute this one. Okay, I have not provided X points. Okay, error. Okay, for mark, as there is no marker size for this, I have to remove this. Okay. By default, I will go with this and then modify the code. This is known as a scatter plot. This all points are plotted and we are showing this point. This all points are shown here. This is called as a scatter plot. Okay. We can compare, and not only that, we can, okay, what I will do is on a same graph, we can plot another graph also with some different color, which is also possible if you want to compare something. Okay. Just as time is picking up, I will just move forward. And for colors, we can write color here. See, color equals to, I can write some hash 1, 2, 3, 4, see something. It's just randomly I'm choosing it. But if you want, you there are many color pickers are available. Okay, some random number. Okay, still is giving me error. Syntactical it is correct, but I don't know what went wrong. Okay, best I will choose a color which are standard. I remember one of the color code 8C9999. Okay, this is the green color. 88C99 is the green color, which is shown here. Okay, this is the something we worked out, right? Now, anyone having any doubts? Okay, so let me move forward. And the last half an hour, we are going to work on the project, right? So this is what we have worked out. So there are various color maps, everything. We can have the donut chart, we can have a pie chart, we can have lollipop chart, we can have a dumbbell chart. There are various charts are there, which we all can plot using this particular. We can have a distribution. See, essentially, if you anyone wants to go into data science, or they want to do the any statistical course or anything, the graphs are very essential. These plots are essential, without which we cannot work with it. So and how to choose this color, there may be the question. If you go on internet and just google color picker, just search color picker, you get lot of websites for that. And or rather it's a Google also provide you that. You just change the color, which color you want, and just copy this particular color code. For example, this is the color code which I copied, And actually I can take it here. And if I replace it, let me see whether it will work or not. Yes, the color has been changed. Let me select some color. Say here. I will copy once again, then a new color. Some different color, right? It's around the same blue color which we picked up the color. So these are color pickers which we can use for identifying the colors and which help us to come up with the different shapes of it, right? Right. Any questions, any doubt on the graphs? You just Google what different types of charts are there which we can use. Okay, the link, the content is already streaming on YouTube. You can, if you join late, you can go forward there from there. Any other questions? Yes, on YouTube. Okay, any questions? Okay, so I'm gonna say no question. Let me move to the next topic. Now, if we looked at it, we discuss importing the standard modules like math and time we discussed. Then we install some packages like the matplotlib. Before matplotlib, we are able to, we need to use the numpy also with it. And then we have seen some data visualization using the matplotlib, how we worked out. And then mini project. Let's start discussion on the mini project and why projects are important. Let's discuss first that. So before I start discussion on the mini project, so discussion is the mathematical. Okay, so this is the project which I'm showing it to you is based on the data science and is a house price predictions. What is a house price predictions? In a certain area, what the price will for the, if some property is coming for sale, you need to identify what will be its price. So no one can deceive it, right? So we are going to work on predicting the house prices, right? So we use a linear regression, or there are many regressions are available. We can use a linear regression or logistic regression, or various regressions are available, or any other methods. But today discussion point, I'm starting with the very basics because I am aware of it. We just started understanding the Python, the project. So it's very difficult to start with it. So this is the something. So we are going to use a house price predictions. So for that purpose, we need to import some warnings type. This is another package which I'm importing, warning filtering. The recommended versions, we require to have a NumPy 1.6.4. When we're importing, by default, I usually right click import and then we work with it. It's not the case. We sometimes we need to restrict ourselves to certain versions of it. Pandas 2.2.2, Matplotlib 3.7.1, and Seaborn is another library for plotting the various graphs, but it's again created on Matplotlib. On NumPy, we have Pandas and Matplotlib. On Matplotlib, we have a Seaborn, which is quite popular. Then statistical models and the sklearn for the machine learning library. These models and sklearn is specifically for use for the data science purpose. Okay. Any questions? Okay. So these are the two libraries I am going to import on my program, the pandas and the numpy. So though discuss about the numpy, numpy is a mathematical library which we use. NumPy, we use a mathematical library or is a number array which you use, which help us to perform the operations. If we go and write our own array and working with it is quite slower. So inbuilt libraries provided by open source communities and NumPy. On NumPy, and also we require pandas. Again, for mathematical calculations, we require to have the pandas, right? So this is a NumPy and the panda. These two libraries are very essential whenever you're working the data science. Specifically, I'm repeating for data science, these two libraries are very essential. I'm posting the into the chat box. These two library, you can keep it for your future references. These two libraries are very essential. Even if you Google, it will tell you, what is panda in Python. It will tell you Python library that allows user to work with the data sets, because in a data science, we work with the pandas. Why we work with the pandas? Because we want to perform some analysis, cleaning, exploring, manipulating, working with the CSV file, Excel file, and data sets. And that's what the panda does for us. So this is the output of Gemini. So NumPys are work with the numbers. Pandas are helpful for working and manipulating the data set. Okay. Any doubts so far? Okay. Let me discuss. This is the line which will help us to import the data set. We do not have a data set. Okay, we do not have a data set. I am directly using the inbuilt data sets of Python provided by the Google Colab, and I can directly work with that. If you want to import your own data set, you can actually import from this file location. Connect to the runtime enable file browsing. It will connecting. As soon as you get an option, we can actually connect the data set. Okay. So this is a California housing data set is actually imported here, and that's why it is showing. We just click upload the session storage, or you can mount the drive, whatever your Google Drive, and from that you can actually import your data set. So this is importing housing.csv. What is CSV? CSV files are is nothing but an comma separated file. It's a comma separated version of the, whenever you create a file, data set, these are separated in some textual file. Or we can say it's comma delimited. Okay, so the file is imported. Looking at the first 5 rows, these are the 5. His housing.head, which we can use to print the first 5 records. Yes, it starts from 0. I am using a housing.head. Why? Again, this PD is nothing but an pandas. With the help of pandas, I am able to read the CSV file. Now my whole content of this CSV file is stored in housing. Now this housing is a type of pandas type of variable, because I'm writing on right hand side. From right to the whole content goes to the left. We know that from mathematics. So now I'm writing housing.head. If I write housing.tell, it will print the last 5 records. Now this housing is nothing but my data frame. My read.csv was my data set, but my housing is a data frame. In pandas, we call as a data frame. What we do in the data frame, we are storing the data set, right? So housing.head, and this is how we are printing the first 5 records of it. I already told you what is the use of pandas. Pandas use is to help to manipulate or perform operation on the data set. So pandas enable us to work with the data set, right? So now we can prepare a data set. What is a data set? Is nothing but a number of rows and number of columns are there. We call as a data set, which consists of various data in it. Now data preparation. In the data preparation, we are going to actually manipulate or perform some cleaning and transformation. It can be anything. So data preparation, before we apply machine learning, before we apply any data mining, machine learning, data science algorithm on that data set, we need to prepare our data set. I will give an analogy. Before we start cooking, we keep all vegetables and ingredients required for that cooking ready, right? Bef- that is how we call as a pre-processing. Okay. Similarly, data is nothing but an important one. If we apply machine learning, data science algorithm or data mining algorithm on that, it may go wrong. The results will not be appreciated, or it is not even useful. We need to just discard them. So now I'm preparing a date. I am now preparation will get starting. So okay, now if you looked at it, I will hide this output now. Data preparation. Now I'm creating some dummy variables. The variable furnishing status, because if I looked at it, I will show you data once again. This is the data. We have different types of columns are here: price, area, bedroom, bathroom, storage, main road, guest room, basement, water heating, air conditioning, parking, prefer areas, and the furnishing status. Right now, I have in during in a, you can say, list of variables. We have variable list, main road, guest room, basement, hot water heating, and all. We are taking it from this. Okay. Defining the map function. This is the map function which is helping us to converting your data into different formats. For example, here we are converting with the help of diff. You know that is a diff is a defining function. What is the function? A binary map. I am taking x. What is the x? I am taking everything from x to here. Okay, map to this. Now this return.x.map. I'm returning as yes as 1 and no as 0. Now S and no, which may be here, we need to convert into zeros and ones, which we can easily process. You can check. The main road was SSS. You can see value is a 1111. It is known as binary hot coding. Or it is just a, you just understand right now, for we are converting your S no to 0 and 1. Because when you're working the data science machine learning, these algorithms works with numbers. This algorithm does not work with the textual data. So we need to convert those into some numbers. So I am converting the for main road SS into 1 1, and gets to no and S to 0 1. Basement, it was written no no S triple S. Then no no is converted into 0 0 and 1 1. Right? So then water heating, all zeros because it's all no are there. Here, yes is 11011. You can see it's a 1101. So this is we have converted. Furnished, semi-furnished is 8 to pending. This is not even done because this is what we want. We will do it later on. Right? So now look at this one. Furnished, semi-furnished are converted like this. Now get a dummy variables for features furnishing status. Stored in new variable status. Status equals to PD. It is again a pandas dot get dummies housing furnishing status. Check what data set status look like. Status dot head. I am printing furnished, semi-furnished is 1, 0 and 0 and 1s. Okay, so we are converting to binary. So now you don't need to 3 columns. We don't require 3 columns. We require only 1. So you can drop the furnished columns, this furnished columns, first one, as a type of the furnishing, and identify just a 2 columns where, okay, this one. 0 0 correspond to the furnished, 0 1 is correspond to the unfurnished, and 1 0 correspond to the semi-furnished. Right? So this is a coding we are going to perform. Now we can see, let's drop the first column from the set test. How we can drop? Dropping is nothing but and deleting it. So drop first underscore true, add a result to the original housing data frame. Now after doing the housing or data, we concat. Concat means connecting it. Concatenation. Concatenation means connecting two stuff or maybe objects or variable or a string. Okay, here we are concatenating or we are adding another, right? If you looked at it in a furnish, we have but semi-furnish and furnish, we added 0 and 1s all here. Now it is, we are printing it. Now drop the furnishing status. As soon as this furnishing status is drop, that column is drop. Give me a minute. Any questions? Any particular line of the code which is done and I need to repeat it? Okay. Now splitting the data into training and testing. Okay, let me tell you. What is training and testing? We have a large data sets. And from large data sets, we need to check on that, right? What we do is check on that. When we have large data sets, we need to check how it is the size of it. And training is something we are training the and creating the model. A machine learning model will be created. What is the model? It can be equation. It can be collection of some zeros and ones. It can be, or it suggests numbers. It's a mathematical representation. So we have to divide our data into two parts, training and testing, sometimes into validation also. What we do in a training? In a training, we take our data and convert that data, or we take a data and we split into two parts, training and testing. Training is going to actually create a model. In testing phase, based on the testing data, we check whether our model is giving a quality or not quality. So the quality checking happens during a testing phase. So that's for test, we require certain data. So we're dividing our whole data into two parts, or we are splitting a large data sets into two parts. One is training, another testing. I'm repeating once again. There are situations we split data into training, testing, and validation. Now, it's very important. So how we do that? We are actually using sklearn. If you looked at it, we have imported sklearn. Okay. We want to, this is it's a commented, but sklearn is needed. So now I am actually importing it. Now how? From sklearn.model underscore selection, I am importing training underscore test dot split. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, I am going to split the data set into two parts with the help of this function. So I'm doing a double assignment, which we discussed on the day one. Training under df, that is a data frame, train and data frame test is equals to train test split function. This is a, okay, housing. That's our name of the data frame. This is housing. You can, if you remember, and training size is equals to 0.7, testing size is equals to 0.3, and random state is equals to 100. Now what we are looking, this is very two, this parameter is important. Considering whole data set is 100%, we are dividing a 70% as a training and testing as a 30%. Right? Clear? Any doubt? Okay. Now rescaling feature. We'll use a min-max scaling. What is a min-max scaling? Rescaling. What is the features when you're working with a data set? Features are nothing but an number of column names. For example, if there are two objects, suppose I say this pen and there's a scale. What these two are the objects. These two objects are differ based on its features. Okay, the scale has some numbers written on it in a sequential manner. The pen, usually there is no numbers written on it. This is rectangular in shape. This is in cylindrical shape. So these are nothing but and features. And these features are distinguishing each records in the data set. This is distinguishing each and every records from that, right? So we need to rescale the features with the help of min max scaling. Minimum of maximum. There is a min max. So for that purpose, I am going to use a sklearn of the pre-processing. So sklearn is my package. From that, I'm using some class pre-processing and I'm importing min max scaler of the method. So what is happening here? Apply scalar to all the column except S and no and dummy variables. We are not doing into it. So now variables, area, bedroom, bathroom, storage, parking, and price. Where I'm performing the min max. Because range is very high. If you don't perform min max, it will have a different range. And that because of the range, we are when you display the content on the graph with the help of matplotlib or a seaborn, it will not display properly and our model is will fail miserably, right? So now we have this data frame train number variable scalar dot fit transform. It will transform and it will perform that. So the scalar dot fit dot fit underscore transformation is going because we have represented here scalar. Okay, in the scalar we have fit dot transform. Scalar is our object dot function name, which will apply on the training data set. And we are going to print the head. Now look at the bed. We have worked on the bedrooms. Okay, now here 0.4, 0.8. Here it was bedrooms like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it was different. We have perform here. Okay, it is here. Now in the bathroom 0, 0.5, which was done. So we are converting. For example, for example, basement. We didn't change that because we have we written here basement. Sorry, yeah. No, but in the parking case, in the case of parking, we can check there's a 2, 3, 2, 3, 0, 2 and all. Because other variables are zeros and 1, we don't have to work on that. But the numbers where the numbers are very large, we have to convert. So we have performed on the bathrooms and bedrooms and the parking, right? On these three variables we have done. Again, for the stories, we can check. As in the stories, I mean, number of stores, number of stories are there in a flat. So 7 story, 8 story. So that is we have numbers are coming in the fractions. Any doubts so far? You can post in the chat box. Yes. Any doubt? Okay, write in the chat box, everyone. Okay, regarding certificate, you have to wait because many people are on the website. So it will take time. Okay, so let me move ahead. Dividing into X and Y. So we are writing Y train and DF train dot pop the price and then X train is equals to DF train. So this will dividing X and Y sets of the model building. We want to divide that, right? Building our model. So this time we will be using a linear regression function from the scikit-learn. This is another data science machine learning library for its compatibility with the RFE. It's a special type of functions which we use, right? So recursive feature elimination. So RFA is known as a recursive feature elimination. It has a 5 cells written. See, now from sklearn feature selection import RFE, and I'm using a linear regression model here. Now running the RFE, what I'm going to do is LM. There's a linear regression variable I'm creating where whatever the linear regression function is calling, the whole model is stored in LM. Now I'm trying to fit the model. lm.fit xtrain and ytrain, which we have created here, xtrain and the ytrain. Now RFE, we know what is RFE. RFE is a recursive feature elimination method. We are applying it. This is lm comma 10, which is running RFE. Now after that RFE, we are trying to fit it again. So this is the fitting extend and write and we are providing. Now we are list and zip function which can be used. And now we can see area true 1, bedrooms true 1 and all. This is how it is coming, right? It is list. We are going to list out whatever the given in this particular zip content of it is a variable. We have a call, so it is printing the index, what the column names are there, and we are printing all the column names. Data type is an object. Okay. Now, now we are trying to print the columns of with respect dot support. So basement and semi-furnished and unfurnished. So now we are trying to building the modeling a stats model. So creating the X test, we are creating the copying the it. Adding a constant variable, import statistical model API as SM. Extend is equals to RFE, add constant. This is going to adding a constant variable to store the stuff. So now we are going to run the linear model. With the help of linear model sm.ol, this is another method we are trying to perform it. Okay. This is our this is my or other I'm calling it our linear model. It will print the summary. Now this is very important. This is something which we need to understand whenever you are writing linear regression model. So what a dependent variable is the price. We want to calculate price. That's why it is a dependent variable. What is the independent variable? Variable which are on the right hand sides of it. We call it as the independent variable. Method. We use a least square method is used. Date. Is it okay? Some time, whatever whichever data is there, based on that it will print it. And R square. These are very important. R square. As this value indicates the quality of it. So based on the each of it, we can change the constant area, bedrooms, bathrooms, and all. These all values are there. And these values are helping us to create the model. Now warning. Standard error as okay. Bedrooms in the this is a warning standard error assume that the covariance matrix of the error is correctly specified. Now looking at the bedrooms, is insignificant presence of the other variables can be dropped. If you looked at the bedrooms, the value is coming 0. Storage 0. This main road 0. So we need to check on which are important one, which are not important. Important, the variable needs to keep. Unimportant one or not even useful for that, we need to drop them. We run again and we need to check what the AIC, BIC, different p-value, if t-value for based on the hypothesis. So this is the indexed again. So new columns we are adding. Now, so the index is printed here. So X training is performed and we are dropping the constant column. Now we are calculating the variance inflation factor for that particular model what we have created. Now VF is equals to again data frame x dot x is equals to x dot train new model. We are again training it. Now if you looked at it, the variance, where is variance? Variance is nothing but how it is varying than the actual. We should understand what is the standard deviation, how much it is deviated from the standard. It is called. For example, today's temperature is say 28 degrees Celsius and we predicted 28. It is a deviated by 1 degree Celsius. So that is a deviation. And similarly, variance is how it is varying from the reference point, from the reference or the value which we decided, how it is variated. Or we call it as is vary. We call it as a variance. There are two types, various variances are available. The one of the variance is nothing but standard deviation. So this is the variance. The inflation factor is printed here or shown to us. Residual analysis of the training data. For residual analysis, we can actually now check whether or you can say the errors in terms of the residual, if you are performing some chemistry operation, at the bottom of it some residuals are pending or precipitation, so that is the error. Here if you perform some model and what possibly the residual and the error is there, that we need to calculate, right, with the help of that. So we actually calculate it. Now we need, again, we are now it's time to import some library for printing it purpose. I am using a matplotlib and then I'm importing the cbon, and with the help of that I can actually plot the graph, which will help us to understand what error is there, right? So figure is equals to, I'm just creating a variable figure, and plt dot figure, I'm plotting it, right? So based on the input data which we have taken. Now sns dot distribution plot, dst, this plot means distribution. This is known as a normal distribution. I'm plotting it. Y train, this is based on the Y train, and minus Y train price of that, comma beans is equals to 20. This will plot, right? As a single value we require the other variables to be it. Okay, now subtitle, you can see I want some errors to be printed, error terms here. Okay, title for super title, or you can say, and the X label. This is the errors here. Understand, this is the title and this is the label, X label and the Y label. Font size also is provided. We can change any value, whatever based on our requirement. Now this will print the graph or display the graph in front of us, which is normal distribution. If the normal distribution is coming, we can say that it's a good sign of it. If it the graph will go something like that, okay, the graph is coming, so, or maybe the graph is something on the right it is showing, so whether it is a left skewed or a right skewed, which is not appreciated, it means there must be some problem in while developing or writing the code, or data must have something, uh sorry, I should not supposed to. Okay, so we can use the model prediction. So you can see some predictions. X test is equals to SM for the model at constant and making prediction. This is model is evaluated. As we create certain model, machine learning model, we need to check the quality of it, and where we perform model evaluation, which is evaluated. What is the quality of it? Whether it's a good quality, whether it is a bad quality, this quality it tested based on the model evaluation. So how it is done? We actually plot the graph of it. So figure we are plotting, we scatter plot, we know we already studied at the start of the session, and we are plotting a title, we are plotting X label and Y label, we are printing, and we plotted the graph, right? This is how we write the data science program, where we actually use the various type of functions. We use the various type of functions to work with the data set. We first import the data set, use the libraries which is required for that. Then we pre-process those data set, and then we apply the machine learning model on that data set. After performing that, we test the model whether its quality is good or not based on the various parameters, p value, t value, and we actually form the hypothesis and we test. Once we case a good model which can be deployed for future uses. Okay, this is how our data science projects works, and this is how the Python is used for working the data science. We have seen various functions, how to write the functions. Then we discuss how we write the various mathematical libraries to be like a NumPy, and the matplotlib is used for displaying the graph. And also through this project, we discuss how we can use cbon library. We can use a cbon library, which is used for plotting the graph. against a more advanced library which is used. So this is the discussion. Now it's time for question. Now this is something is end from my end, but it is end for today's discussion. But it leads to the beginning of your journey for programming. So any questions in the chat box? Next 1 or 2 minutes, 1 minute. Yes, his timing is up. And finally, we reach to the where we perform the project. We done one data science project, right? Any questions in the chat box? Attendance link is already there in the on the YouTube link. You can prefer that. Yes, how to get the source code? Yes, you will get it as soon as my session ends. I will be uploading to the IT team the all the notes from yesterday, day before yesterday, and today's. I will be sharing all the codes, all the notes with everyone. Okay, the question is where we are doing a free internship. Okay, that will be answered by my IT team. Let's upgrade team. Okay, most welcome. Yes, thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you, sir. Sir, what are the best projects, sir? Projects for beginners, you can start with housing price predictions. You start with a regression because from the school days we work with it, right? Any other questions? Next 1 minute. Timing speaking up. Any questions? Reference notes will be uploaded by my IT team. Definitely. They have your details with us, your email IDs. You will get some notifications. Keep watch on your emails. My team will connect with you as soon as they get the notes and they will upload. You will get a link to download those. You're most welcome, Rahul. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. So thank you, everyone. See you. Good night. Bye bye. Take care. I'm signing off. Thank you.